Hello and welcome to my introduction to camera. I thought it was about time I introduced myself formally and explain a bit about why I'm here. Why I'm here on YouTube. That got a little existential for a second there. As you're probably aware, my name is Michaela and I am an aspiring author. That means I write a lot and plan a lot and brainstorm a lot, but none of it's published yet. I've been writing as long as I can remember. My first picture book I did when I was about 10, but I started my first novels when I was in high school around 2011. For the past 10 years, I've been trying to find something else that fills the void when I'm not writing. I've been to uni where I was pursuing a science degree with human anatomy, but along the way I was taking up units in a whole range of subjects from, human anatomy, biology, neuroscience, psychology, Greek mythology, creative writing, film analysis, French, and then I also did some veterinary science units. I've always had a strong interest in science, but just not enough to make it my full-time, dedicate the next 40 years of my life kind of interest. So then I went back to a previous interest in possibly being a vet. I volunteered in a wildlife shelter and I did 6 months of volunteering in a vet clinic. It became pretty obvious that I didn't want to be a vet either, but I really liked the vet nursing side of clinic life. So I actually studied vet nursing for a year and then worked as a qualified vet nurse for a couple of years. But all the way through that, I was still trying to write. It would take me too long to transition from medical science mind to creative writing fantasy and sci-fi worlds mind. So I quit my job and I started writing full-time in May 2022. I've never been happier. My fiance and I moved to Darwin in October 2020 for his first job as a pilot. If you know much about what was going on in the world in 2020, you would know that travel and tourism wasn't really a thing at that time, so getting a job as a pilot was tough. Over the past couple years, we have had our fair share of trials, but he had a job, so we stuck with it and I continued to work as a vet nurse and pursued some creative projects in my free time. My first hard drive died in Darwin. I didn't lose much, but it was pretty demoralising to lose what I did lose. Then we moved to Broome for Tom's second job. We had a rough 2 months introduction to this town. I won't go into it because it'll turn into a rant, but it was pretty horrible. Luckily, we did move into a much nicer place. I continued working as a vet nurse in Broome until I quit in May and started writing full time. Within 2 months, I finished my first manuscript, edited it up and sent it into a competition. But tragedy struck again. Our computer decided to die, so I had to return to my laptop, which is on its last legs, to put it kindly. I love you, but you're slow and clunky. Sorry. In total, we moved 6 times in less than 2 years. Yeah, but throughout it all, we're just so grateful that we've had the opportunities that we have and just tried to make the most of everything. Now that I've doubled down on trying to make my writing career happen, I have my work cut out for me. There is no right or wrong on this journey. No one tells you what steps to take. You just have to fumble your way through and hope that something gets you where you want to go. I would say that I'm in the foundation stage of my career. I'm doing a lot of writing, a lot of research, brainstorming story ideas, dreaming up a whole bunch of new ones. And I've started reaching out to friends and family to get some feedback on my first manuscript. It's been amazing having people tell me what they like, what they thought needed more improvement. It's scary. It is so scary but so exciting at the same time. To explain my goals simply, I'd like to write books and have people read them and hopefully enjoy them. I'd love to make a living off the royalties so that I can keep producing work to share with the world, maybe. Exactly what I want to achieve is probably too much to cram into this video, but I basically want people to think, to reassess their lives, feel something and make changes within themselves and the world around them. Long term, I'd be pretty interested in working on other mediums like stage play and screenplay, but that's pipe dreams for now, pipe dreams. Another major part of establishing my career as an author is social media and creating a community where my audience can get to know me and my work, where I can be involved with other authors and people in the creative industries to reach out, learn from them, share with them. With the world so saturated with content, it's important that people know who you are and even have access to what you're creating. I'm basically using Instagram to share writing updates, little snippets of my own life, book reviews, photography, creative mischief, and interacting with the creative community as a whole, as well as promoting my YouTube videos. My YouTube account started as just a way for me to share our travel with family and friends. It didn't take long for me to realize that I really like making videos. From taking the footage to compiling it all together and cutting it up, adding music and captions and making it all time nicely. I love it. I've made videos in the past, none that I hope will ever see the light of day. After making our driving video and some flying videos, I just started recording my hobbies in my free time and turned those into little videos, and it's all kind of just spiraled from there. What started as a way to stay connected has turned into this whole avenue for creative projects. I sat down and brainstormed ideas of the kinds of videos I want to make and share with people, and I just had so many ideas. If nothing else, I'd just love to be a part of a community of creative and fun-loving people who might also be interested in my stories and would like to read them one day. You won't know if you don't give it a go, so here I am. Currently is a really hard term to define when you work on long-term projects, but I guess if you said what do you spend the most time doing in a given month, I would say I'm currently waiting on feedback from my first manuscript that I submitted to a competition. I'm supposed to hear back in September, so fingers crossed. While I'm waiting, I went back to a previous project, which is a sci-fi speculative fiction series. I've almost finished the first installment of that one. Tried to pick up where I left off over a year ago. I'm trying to read 2 books a month, which is big for me because for a long time I wasn't giving any of my time to reading, but everyone says to be a good writer, you have to be a good reader, so I am definitely getting on top of that, and I'm popping up little reviews as well to share that with the community. I spend a lot of time brainstorming video ideas and planning out some creative projects that I can share. Obviously, the most recent project is the one you're watching right now. Cue the X-Files music. I wish I had 10 feet so that I could go a million miles an hour down lots of different avenues. Instead, I have to divide my time and headspace to each project. My immediate steps are: I want to finish the first installment of my sci-fi series. I want to finish a majority of the series before I start submitting for publication. I know some people say don't do that and that each installment should be a standalone novel. I just don't think I want to write it that way, so we'll see. I am open to being flexible, obviously. So depending on whether I feel like writing more science fiction after I finish the first installment will depend on whether or not I jump ship. Pun intended. In the meantime, I'll keep researching another project, which, little sneaky tidbit, has some Norse mythology involved. And I'll continue to film and edit YouTube videos to keep sharing what I'm up to. I'm posting more consistently on Instagram as well to hopefully gain a little bit more traction there, and also just find some like-minded community members so I can get in touch and start building some friendships out there. When I do get some feedback off of my completed manuscript, I will go back to revising and see where that takes me. A few months back, I wrote a whole page of goals and put them on a timeline between now and December. So hopefully by the time I do another update video, I can tick some of those off. So, in conclusion, I have a lot of brainstorming, planning, drafting, filming, all sorts of good stuff happening. I'm hoping all this time and effort I'm putting into it now lays some solid groundwork for me to just keep going forward with leaps and bounds. It's still early days on this journey for me, so hopefully I'll have some more specific updates and goals to share with you. I'm so excited to be taking this journey and putting the time and effort into trying to make it happen. There is just a whole lot of chaotic energy going on, and a lot of it is in here, and I don't want to overwhelm you with my excitement. Don't want to scare you off. Please stay. Come. Sit. Stay a while. Don't go. Now fridge. What is that? Sounds like a frog. Oh god. And I have great neighbours.